Hey there, so I'm starting off with a cream shadow on my brow bone and across my lid. I'm taking this shadowy color and putting it across my crease and the outer corner of my eye as well as underneath across my lash line. I'm taking this black pencil, putting it in my waterline and tightline, then curling my lashes and applying mascara to them. Hello, Hope. I'm taking that shadowy color and contouring with it, as well as using this matte contour powder to blend that out. Here I am doing my forehead before applying my highlighter because I have a problem. Okay, now for the fun stuff. I am using a 2-part silicone product. This one happens to be 3rd degree. So this is a 2-part silicone product, which means that you mix the 2 parts together and you have a working time of a couple minutes, and then it turns into a product that is set and doesn't move anymore. You have to do equal parts and you can't contaminate either part or else you fuck it up. So I'm taking a clean spatula and I'm going to wipe a second time just to make sure. I'm going to dip it into part A here and I'm going to get just a small amount. That should be more than enough. I'm going to put it on my clean palette right there, over here. I'm going to get a paper towel. And I'm taking that B and I'm doing the same amount. Does that look like the same amount? Yeah, it does. And I'm putting it down beside it on the palette, on sealing both. So that looks like that there. I'm going to take my spatula, palette knife, and I'm mixing the 2 products together. Alright, so I mixed those 2 together and I've got this creamy, pretty looking thing. I'm going to take 99% alcohol and I'm going to put it inside of the cap to the little spray bottle that I have, which is totally unprofessional. I know. But I don't really have my usual glass container because it's at school. And I'm going to take out a brush that I want to use to set this. All my brushes have glitter on them. Makeup artist problems. Okay, I'm just going to keep this one on hand just in case. You don't technically need a brush. You can really just work with the palette knife. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take more than half of what's on my palette here. And I'm going to kind of try and encourage it into this long little noodle of product on my palette knife. If that makes any sense, like that. So it's on the edge and it's relatively even. And I'm going to put it down and swipe. So this applied the product down in the spot that I want it. Now, because I still kind of want it to stick to my palette knife, I'm not going to dip any alcohol, or dip it in any alcohol. I'm going to take a little bit of what I have left, not all of it. I'm going to add to this a little bit because I think I want a little bit more. Alright, then I'm going to take the remainder. I'm going to make a smaller or shorter line perpendicular to this one. Alright, so now that I've got this here, I'm going to take it and maneuver it a little bit. Okay, so now that I've done that, I'm going to take that 99% alcohol and I'm going to dip the tip of my finger into it. And I'm going to use it to soften the edges. The 99% alcohol works as sort of like a barrier that your silicone product that we've just put down won't stick to. So it helps you maneuver it without having it get like picked up and carried somewhere you don't want it. The only crappy part about doing your makeup before this is that it starts to rub off with the 99%, but we can fix that later. So now you want your edges to blend away into your skin completely flat because you want it to look like this was actually made into your skin. So I've blended all those edges, so we have this cross right there. I'm going to take that palette knife again, and I'm going to wipe off the tip of it so that it's as clean as possible. I'm going to stick it inside of my 99%. I'm going to slice it like it was the skin that was sliced in the effect. And I've got a little bit of extra that I've scraped off, and I'm going to wipe that off. You're going to have to keep wiping it off and keep dipping it because the product really, 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 really wants to stick. So now I'm just taking the edges on the inside of the cut and I'm just making them look grosser. And I'm doing that by just kind of flicking them outwards so that they look all torn, nasty, and all those fun things. So for this, it's kind of okay that the silicone is sticking because it's helping it lift it. And so there, that's what I'm left with right there. Messy, goopy goodness. All right, so that looks good to me. I am going to clean up while this product is setting. Okay, so I've let this set for a little while, and one good reason to keep a little bit of whatever you're working with on your palette is that you can touch this to see if the product has set, because this was mixed at the same time as this. And so my product still feels a little bit sticky, but it feels like it's definitely hardening. So I'm going to take a neutral colorless powder from Ben Nye, and I'm going to take a small fluffy brush, and I'm going to set that. I am for sure going to make sure that that brush doesn't have any dark colors on it. I'm actually fairly certain that this is the same product on here. So again, I'm pouring a little bit into the cap because I'm not working on a client right now. I'm trying to look super professional. I'm tapping off the excess. I'm going to tap it onto that shiny silicone. This is to mattify it like the rest of my face has been mattified. Sweet, it's not sticking to my brushes, which is an awesome sign. So I'm going to set the one side of this and show you the comparison. All right, so this side here is nice and set and looks kind of like it could potentially be in my skin. Well, this side here is all shiny and it looks fake. Looks created. Also, the cool thing about setting this is it really shows you where the lines you put are. Sometimes they're a little bit hard to see when they're all shiny and not very clearly outlined. This way, the shadows from underneath the little slices you made stand out a lot more, which makes it easy to know where all your little divots are. So now that I've got that all set there, I'm going to take my alcohol activated paints. And do I need to really do anything around? As far as skin tone is concerned, this is actually really looking like my skin tone. I'm going to take a little bit of my face powder that has color to it. This one is by Lancome. And I'm going to take that same fluffy brush and just add it around the outside to ensure that the product looks like my skin. And I think I might have gotten a little bit much, so I'm going to take this and lightly brush away the excess. Okay. So everything is the right color. Now I could go back with those alcohol activated paints. I'm going to take that brush that I had brought out earlier, and I'm going to take my probably Old Blood, which is this color here. Actually, no. I think I'm going to start with my bruising tone. I'm going to put this around the outside of the cut. This bruising tone is a little bit of a purpley red. So it gives the same effect that skin has when it's been irritated. And the raised little bit of silicone that I have there actually looks the way that the skin would look. So that works for our advantage. So there we go. We have a little bit of that slight irritation going on around there. I might deepen it a little bit down here. Okay, cool. I'm going to take that alcohol, 99%, and use that old blood I was talking about first. This is a much more brownish toned red. I'm putting it inside and underneath in here. Alright, now you can see that it's starting to look a little bit more gory. Make sure you don't have any missed little areas. And that all the skin that looks like it's flapped over has the underside of it done too. Because if not, it looks really fake. Like right on here. Make sure you get right under that. Alright, that is starting to look pretty gnarly. I'm going to take a little bit of a scab blood, which is just a very thick, gelatinous kind of blood. And I'm going to take my palette knife and I'm going to kind of gob it onto the scraped surface on the inside. Because this is going to give the illusion of, I mean, not only scabbing, congealing blood, but because it's so thick, it gives some texture, which gives the illusion of how the flesh would look underneath. Alright, so now that we've got a little bit more texture in there, I'm going to take the drying blood, I think. Maybe I'll first take a little bit of this non-edible FX fluid blood, again on my palette knife. I'm just taking a really small amount right now, and I'm going to kind of dab it into some corners and places that blood would start to pool. So, I don't know why I always do that. I'm going to take the drying blood that I have, which is really dark, and I think I'm actually just going to have it drop down my face. So I'm going to take it on my palette knife like that. I'm going to set up my mirror first so that I'm not rushing. I'm going to get a nice big drop set up on there like I just had. I'm going to use that to create the drop. Probably actually going to take just a little bit and put it in the corners again first. Actually, I might have it drip from one of the edges. I'll have it drip from the bottom, obviously, but I think I might have it drip from here too. I'm going to add a second drop to that middle one because I really want it to go far. Alright, I think that's great. And then this is going to dry and solidify, and it's really freaking shiny when it does that. If you wanted to matte it down, that's cool. But I kind of like the way that it looks all shiny. Like this, it doesn't look like it's dried down. So I'm going to pop in my contacts, and I think I'm just going to leave my lips like this. The contacts I'm using are the Primal Costume lenses. But yeah, so this is the completed look. I thought a possessed, Omen-y kind of thing would look super interesting. I just look like a chick with brown eyes now, Jesus. What the hell? But yeah, that whole like effect situation is right there. The blood, I think, is dried. Yeah. Drying blood. Gotta love it. Thanks for watching.